You know how there are some people that have had lots of trouble with some of the hardest charts in this game, especially those on pad lead? There are two in particular that that I get pretty close, but no, it doesn't work. One of the songs, of course, is the song I selected for my lobby, Beyond the Flame, where my best is 100% 3 overstrums, because I overstrummed in the solo. And the other is Paradise City, where, for both of the songs, the hardest parts are definitely the solos. Like, everything up to them is doable on a controller, of course, because I am a controller player for pad. Honestly, I do hope that I get a PS5 Riftmaster soon. I want to try more pro. But yeah, the solos are what do me dirty in these songs because, like, I get very consistent up to them and then somehow choke. My best score on this song, though, is 301k. But before then, it was like, what, 297k? And yeah, like, these two are among the hardest songs in the game. The reason why I'm not including one is because I FC'd the pad lead chart 4 times over. Fast Solo A 6 times. But that was the main reason. Yeah, but like for the parts all the way up to the solos, I am very consistent. But overall, these two songs are real okay. Because the first potential choke point is actually, for this one, is actually coming up soon. For Pro, it shows up as like quads. For Pad, you'll see soon. Yeah, that's the first choke point. Okay, how did I hit that one blue very late, but not late enough to miss? Is that like, what, a few milliseconds behind the hit window? Like 2 milliseconds behind the hit window? Or something? How did I hit a note that was 2 milliseconds behind the hit window? Does this game actually have extended hit window capabilities? If that's the case, then that would be game-changing, making this solo easier to perform. I say that as I overstrum. Yeah, the majority of the solo, I'm very consistent. Sometimes I like holding the lower frets because it's just fun. And I activate there for a specific reason. Because, like, I think if the song on Rock Band 4 actually has a thing there on the drum chart. But yeah, how did I not miss that one clue that was clearly behind the hit window? Or it may act. Was it actually behind the hit window? And gold starring the song is no issue anymore, of course, because of how consistent I'm getting at over 260k. But yeah, I use the default controls because it's like, it's the ones that you start off with. It's very easy to get a hold of. When I first started playing Festival, though, I couldn't even get the controls for any sort of reason. But I practiced and eventually got good with the whole expert difficulty. Being able to FC stuff like Ride the Lightning, One, Master of Puppets, and some other pretty hard songs. Yeah, like, I I don't know how thick the timing window actually is. It's probably like Rock Band 4 levels, if not smaller. Maybe, well, it's definitely not Rock Band 3-esque. Honestly, I don't know. And I opened it. What's funny is that you can actually hit notes while a song is restarting. Who would have thought? Honestly, the size of the hit window, I have actually no idea what it is. It's definitely smaller than Flow Heroes, but it's definitely not as tight as Rock Band 3, even though Rock Band 3 I've never played. I played Rock Band 4, and its window's not too bad. It's certainly not Flow Hero levels of good. This actually feels like tighter than Rock Band 4. But yeah, getting used to the controls does take a bit of time. But once I got them down, I've gotten a bunch of pad lead FCs, considering I'm playing with a controller. Well, funnily enough, the first FCs I actually pulled were actually on Nintendo Switch, where you couldn't even record a 30-second clip of Fortnite for some random reason. And the first recorded FC I got was actually done on Xbox. The Killers, Mr. Brightside. Mr. Brightside by the Killers. That was actually the first pad lead FC I recorded. I then did another recording on the song on this version, the PS5 version. I mean, technically, it's all the same version at the end of the day, just different platforms. Sometimes I have the case with the wrong frets, too. But yeah, I took down songs like Highway 2. Uh, I took out Hail to the King. Carry On My Wayward Son took a couple days. And I streamed the tents for those before getting the FC. 8-bit beat. 8-bit beat took a bit of time. It's usually the songs with more notes during their solos. I get consistency by ending up like overstrumming. So yeah, I am capable of trying to exceed the song. Will it happen? I'm hoping soon. But the game is just so much fun. And we're 6 seasons in, and it's still as fun as when it first came out. But that's not without its issues, though. Sure, there were, like, broken stuff, especially with Pro Lead and Pro Bass. Season 3 and 4 for Pro Lead and Bass, there was a thing with Hopos, hammer-on pull-offs, where if you were anchoring a lower note, say if my left trigger was the green, my L2 was green, and my L1 was red, if I was holding a red sustain or a red note, and then I anchor onto a green sustain by releasing the red, on Pro, Seasons 3 and 4, you wouldn't get any tick points. Like the sustain points. You get the points for hitting the note, that's for sure. Those are guaranteed. But it's the points that count after the sustain that matter. Because there were like a big difference between say a 352 on battery versus a 351 on battery. I'm just saying those numbers as examples. All because anchoring sustains, but during seasons 3 and 4, the pull-off ones specifically did not get the tick points. So you would have to not hold green while holding red, and then you pull off to green after releasing red. Those are the only way, that was the only way at the time to be able to get those sustain points. Well, thankfully, I did make a video on this, that it was patched in Season 5. Festival Season 5. Like, I was doing songs for fun, so I just did Carry On Wayward Son on Pro, just because. Of course, I was using an Apple keyboard, so, like, inputs were just... But that's when I found out that that particular bug was fixed. I actually have a video saying that a Pro League bug has actually been fixed. And when I saw it, I then saw Alec live, and I told him that they fixed that sustain bug because of how annoying it was, especially for top-level runners of the game. But it was definitely disadvantages at the time to anchor. To anchor pull-off sustains. It was disadvantages. Then it was patched. Season 5 had its own fair share of flaws. like the ability to play songs with no hit particles on pad. That's so much easier. So you just you don't strum on pad, obviously. But people have had like game breaking bugs that didn't let their guitars work or whatever. And I found something that I thought was actually pretty visual and pretty cool. Well, I don't know if I was the first to find it. I'm pretty sure someone else found it first. And that is like when you're hitting frets, especially on pad, if you're hitting frets on pad while restarting a song, you it it unloads the hit particles for the following attempt. Now, I think it was a pretty interesting bug, considering I did it on pad and pad songs are pad charts are still easily FCable, as I did FC Nightmare for a second time using the no hit particles visual glitch. And I did find it interesting how the notes acted, especially like when you release for a lift note, like the fret disappears and the note is still hit, but it's like the note just it just poofs out of existence. It's it's actually quite satisfying to see. The season 6, the season we are currently in, goes until January, like early January. There's a little thing that involves invisible instruments, which I think is really cool because it gives the old like air instruments sheet from like the early Guitar Hero games. Like I know it was in 3, I believe. It was definitely in Smash Hits and Metallica, I think it was as well. I mean, it was all the way up. I mean, I believe it was in every game until GH Live. It was never in any Rock Band game at all before technically this. But it was still a very, very interesting thing because it gives like the vibes of playing air guitar or air drums or singing into the air. It was it's I know it's only a visual bug, but it's still really cool. Also, fun fact, if you auto hit a note with activation and the following note is a lift on the same lane, it also auto hits the lift when you release the right trigger at the right time, or R2 depending on platform. It's a pretty interesting mechanic. Now, I don't know if any other mechanics exist in this sort of thing. Like, cause I believe squeezing is still a thing here. Even more so, if the last note squeezed in was a perfect, you get an insane amount of points. Now, I don't think there's infinite front end. If there is, it's probably on the pro mode, because I've never seen it exist on pad, but that's just me. As for extended hit window, I don't know if that's what caused the blue to hit, even though it was like visually behind the hit window, like visually behind the strike line. Yeah, on that activation, I got that yellow in just before the meter ran dry. Yeah, because I play with pro colors on, because I enjoy seeing the colors on screen. Yeah, thoughts on Fortnite Festival? Ever since I got into it, because it's been a while since an official title came out for a rhythm game, to have see one in the progress of being updated and whatnot, it's just so cool to actually play. I enjoy it. The controls are a bit, well, you can definitely see right below my strike line what they are on the default. But once you get used to them, it's not bad. Noted this was like what this came out like chapter 5 season 1 of Battle Royale Zero Bill during the Big Bang event, which was about a year ago, which is insane. So this game's the first time an official harmonics rhythm game has been released within a decade. The last one was Rock Band 4 in 2015, following its Rivals expansion. Another pretty funny thing about festivals that you can have up to 4 players playing the same instrument on fill lobbies. So you could have like some sort of free-for-all to see who's the best on a certain instrument. Which is basically pro face-off. Which is pretty cool. But I do also like the fact that they implemented a band score as well. Yeah, that's my that's my problem with the chart. It's the quads and what came right after. Okay, that green was well behind the timing though. Unless the timing window is actually bigger than I think it is. So I think the timing window, where it's located, is actually dependent on your calibration. Yeah, I also have a problem with this part. Not this part though, even though I just overstrung twice. I've seen Alec, who's a Psy on YouTube. I saw him FC the video where he FC'd the Pro League chart on sight read. Yeah, that was definitely overstrumming, so I was going a bit too fast with my inputs. And when he got to that whole bit, and he got his first try, especially this was during a season where that sustained tick bug, the pull-off sustained tick bug was prominent. This was like late season 4, before it was Paxman season 5. I should probably start my own podcast talking about this sort of thing. Honestly, I don't know what's next in store for Festival. I just hope they actually, like, Harmonix completely, like, granted this Festival does have its flaws, it has its pros and cons, but if you put aside all that, Harmonix nailed it with this. A rhythm game that everyone can get into, which would then lead new players to discover older titles and try them out, increasing their player bases and having them at least try to get physical copies of the game. Which, now I wonder. To the Harmonix devs. If this game ends up being complete, are we gonna get like a physical copy disc game for it? Or at least like a digital separate game for it that also has a single player solo mode, of course, practice, of course, and maybe tutorials as well. Because if that were to happen, that would be awesome. That would... Also, having the ability to pause the song to actually also pause gameplay would be quite essential in single player. Because for now, this is like online only, so of course it's gonna do like the whole party play thing. But will we ever get like a thing where we can actually pause the gameplay and the game, everything stops? And also, not let the controller like overstrum when holding a fret when pausing? If at least not a physical version of the game, at least like have it separate, like a digital thing on the store for free or something. Or maybe put a price tag on it, like make this mode like Fortnite Festival Lite, where everything is free to play. That if you want to get like the game separately, you have to pay like, I don't know, $10 for it or so. I forgot how much Rock Band 4 went for. But honestly, selling this as its own standalone title would actually be quite a move. Considering Epic owns Fortnite, I don't know if they would be up to it. But honestly, that would be up to the developers. Of course, I messed up there. Even though I have seen the song once before. Back in Season 4. In fact, Season 4 was also, like, where I majoritarily FC'd, like, I think it was all the Metallica songs I actually FC'd on Season 4. Lux Eterna was a sight read, surprisingly. It took a bit of time for me to FC this song. One, it also took a while, but since I didn't own the Season 4 pass at the time, the only way I'd be able to play it was on Phil lobbies. So, to grind out the song, I had to join Phil lobbies that had the song available to play. When I loaded it up Festival one day, the first attempt, I got it. And it took me, like, who knows how long. It took me a few attempts to get it. and I can like when I got it, it became like one of the greatest FCs I've ever done. Same when I got Ride the Light. I got Battery right after one, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, like for me, the hardest songs in the game, rank one, my top five would go to Paradise City, Beyond the Flame, one, followed by Ride the Lightning, and Battery. I like the galloping sections, how they're charted here. And when the chart of when the charts of Nightmare dropped, I actually played them early with Alec. Then like some of the charts were like Nightmare, got MCR, I'm Not Okay. But somebody told me about the Killers, as well as A Sound of Silence, which is actually a cover. The cover version is Disturbed's version. Disturbed's version is a cover. And that one was the only one I got on Sight. Two of the others, Nightmare and I'm Not Okay, were done second try. No, it took a bit longer for me to get somebody. No, I think this one was a second try. I forget which ones were second tries and which ones weren't. The drum chart of Nightmare, though. The drum chart of Nightmare is insane. It's actually one of my favorite drum charts in the whole thing. For this song, the highest they ever reached on this leaderboard was 6th place. With the current score you see right there, 192.389. Now, clearly, I'm not in 6th place anymore. I'm currently ranked 8, which is still within the top 10. And the guy in first has a whopping 196k, and I think that's like, is that like all perfects? It's also good to show like the leaderboards for these songs, because then it would compare your score to those, especially at the top level. And I think the those at the top level are actually those that are like, did I just get a media streaming error? Even though I did not select the song. Oh yeah, speaking of this stream, Chapter 2 Remix is coming to an end within the next week, laying the foundation for Chapter 6 Season 1, which I've seen videos of, and I gotta say, I'm excited for it. I can't wait for like the whole transition thing. I will definitely record the how it will go. I don't know how it will. I mean, I do know somewhat how it will go. The transition in Chapter 6. Now, now the question is like, I came up with a theory some like maybe a few weeks ago, saying that maybe we were facing or like Snoop Dogg would be involved with the whole transition to Chapter 6. That's my best case. That It feels like it's the case because I think he's in it. But honestly, I don't know. I also have a thought that Hope, with her ability to see the future through art for some reason, she may have the ability or may actually become the Oracle that who chapter 5 season 1 reference like, makes a prophecy on her past self. Like, the only connection I got for it is that both characters can see the future. That pretty much is it. The rest is up to interpretation. They both have different ways of seeing the future, but that could atone, if they are actually one and the same, that could atone for, like, the abilities evolve. And you know what's weird? Like, and the Oracle said something about a sacrifice, which people thought was Jones. He's still alive and kicking. Yet he has not yet been defeated. Maybe the transition maybe there's it's probably gonna happen during the live event, maybe? I don't know. Maybe as to like Jones's fate, I don't know. Like, for now he's alive. Will he remain that way until chapter 6? Probably. Considering he's been saved by, like, who knows how many times over before, people are just gonna repeatedly save him when he's on the brink of being at 0 health, being down but not out. People have saved them at, like, the point where before the whole DBNO state happens. And we saw that for sure with Hope saving his life using Cap's shield infused with energy from Pandora's box to smack Doom right in the eye, opening up his armor for us players to damage him so much and deplete his 2 trillion health. And yeah, I did record the event. I was actually helping the Globe deal with it. Honestly, it made quite an exciting battle, too. It was quite a boss. Doom was quite a handful to take down. But once his health reached 0, or quite close to it, what was he, like a few hundred to a few thousand points off the mark? I think it was. But once it got low enough, he was basically defeated. Excuse me. It's quite insane. It was quite an insane time. I had to do like a 2-part video thing on the matter to get like the full thing in. For the transition to Chapter 2 Remix, I have a recording on that as well. And it didn't go as, like, I mean, it was quite interesting, like seeing what happened. Like it was like kind of like we got warped to an alternate reality. It makes me wonder if Chapter 6 is actually gonna take place in that alternate reality, where the island we knew from Chapter 5 will be left defenseless. Doom would probably come back and steal the 0 point from that reality, but then we would have a new 0 point in the current reality to protect and. Hmm. How weird we from chapter 1 OG we go through time travel and then chapter 2 remix we get warped to another dimension. It makes me wonder about like us going back to chapter 3. How will that go? How will that actually go? I wonder how that would go though. Would it be like a remix chapter? Would it be chapter 3 OG? Would it be a chapter 3 OG remix thing or would it be something completely different? Maybe I should start my own podcast or something. I should probably start my own podcast. It's like there are a bunch of big YouTubers that have their own podcasts. Like you have the Lore Hero crew that like as Jason Paradise, Alec, a Wise Moose, and JP 760 Creations. Oh, speaking of air instruments that I talked about, that there it is right there. Quite funny. Now on Pro, these are like quads.
I saw the fire in your eyes. I saw the fire when I look into your eyes. You tell me things you wanna try. I know temptation is the devil in disguise. You risk it all to feel alive. Yeah. You're offering yourself to me like sacrifice. You said you do this all the time. Tell me you love me if I bring you to the light. It's like
Yeah, that recently they talked about the insane 502 Jordan on GH2. That was insane. In fact, I actually talked about him myself.
take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer. Want me to hold on to you tight. You pull me close, I feel the heat between your thighs. You're way too young to
I saw the video, like where it happened, and yeah, 502, 502K. It was a meme to get 502K on Jordan, but now the meme is officially dead. The meme got wiped off the map because it happened.
take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody
He's just only 8 points away from the tasks.
take my breath. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think tasks are possible on this. I could be wrong, but mainly on the PC version, I think tasks are doable. But I don't know if they are allowed. And the reason why anyone would make a task of a rhythm game probably to show the highest top score achievable in a song. Another thing that is a meme is 1 million on TTFAF. Yeah, another meme is the one for 1 million on Through the Fire and Flames on GH3, the GH3 chart. The reason why it's a meme is because you end up quite short when you FC the song. But probably if it's doable, it would require the like the maximum amount of strategy you can get out of it. Like I like the only version of GH3 that my family has is the one on the PS2, which I mean the game is like what 7 it's very old. It's like 17 or 18 or so, which is like quite an old game, but people do enjoy it still to this day. And I'm sure there are people that still play like the older GH games and Rockman games to this day. And because like they just want to go back and try to improve themselves on the harder engines. Honestly, what constitutes the player's skill level is just how good they are at a game. My preferred platform of choice to play games such as this is on console. At least with consoles, you don't really have to worry about like because consoles aren't like if you own a console and you don't have like the geekness to mod it or something, everything is just normal for a console. So basically, if you're on console, I'm sure there are players that are cheating on console. Clearly, I don't cheat. I play fair. I'm a fair gamer. But, there was this one time in Forza Horizon 5 where I found, Air12 Nick, of course, he found a oversight in Playa Azul where you can clip through the house in free roam, of course, and he wanted to test it out if it could do the same in hide and seek. Turns out it does work. Then it put the thought in my head onto which of the other maps are broken in hide and seek. It turns out the only other one that has a significant bug is in Mulhay involving the festival, the main festival. There's a thing where if you, sit underneath the balcony or whatever is, right above the door of the festival. I don't know if it's called a balcony or not. I don't know if it's called a balcony or not. But if you put yourself underneath it, in a specific way, and then do a reset, like a respawn, your car respawns right on top of it, allowing you to drive in an area you're not meant to be. And you know what's funny? It actually works on every car and at every festival. Meaning, like, that was the only way to break Muley. So I only did it for like one match. That was it. Honestly, it was only to bring awareness that bugs and exploits like that have the ability to break matches and create unfair disadvantages. So honestly, it was for educational purposes only that I brought it up with the club. Yeah, after I explained how it happened, like, honestly, I hope those get patched. Because then it would mean no disadvantage to the Seekers. Because they are very advantageous for hiders. Wait, to be a hider in Forza Horizon 5 hide and seek, it's like a 1 in 6 chance. And then there's 3 maps, meaning if you wanted to win as hider in Muley, you have a 1 in 18 chance. Actually, no. No. It's actually not 1 in 18. It would actually be 1 in 216, actually. Because you have 3 different maps for 6 players, which 5 are Seekers. So honestly, it's definitely I think it's a 1 in 216 chance, actually. Something's going on. Probably some. Someone probably got injured or something, I don't know. People can only assume things, but, like, that's kind of a flaw if you think about it. Because if you're assuming something that ends up being false, you're just basically making a lighthearted donkey out of yourself and the people that you are making these assumptions to. So, what would that put you as? What would put people that do that as? Those who just can't get the context of things. It's always good to get context in a situation before making assumptions. I'm just being honest. Now, before I end things here, might as well do one more run of Beyond the Flame. The squeezing, you can actually squeeze. I figured out squeezing is possible. But as for infinite front end and extended hit window, I think this game needs more experimentation done to be with that. But if you want to know what those are, the extended hit window, of course, extends the hit window beyond its past point, like its latest point. Like if you have a 200 millisecond hit window, for example, like extended hit window pulls it back like by a few milliseconds or so. For infinite front end, I think that involves hitting a note early, like a sustain. That involves sustains mainly. Where if you hit a sustain early, you still get the tick points for hitting that sustain a bit early. Thus, when the sustain ends, you get more points out of it. Now, it's kind of hard to judge about that in Fortnite Festival, those two in particular. But of course, for both to actually happen, they need to be still within the hit window for them to occur. And when dealing with the harmonics for the game, sometimes it's easier said than done. I knew that was going to happen. It was going a bit too fast. Yeah, infinite front end. You hit a sustain early, and the points start counting as it crosses the strike line. I may have to do some testing later for at least the infinite front end thing. Because technically, it's not really infinite. Because hit windows only extend so far. You know what? And next time, I'm gonna actually try experimenting with infinite front end, which is not really infinite, and just to see if it's actually possible. Then later on, then I'll present findings later. Of course, this is Super Tails Gaming saying for those about to rock, we salute you, and I bid you adieu. Peace.